Here's the top story making headlines across the nation. Concerns over former President Joe Biden's health and leadership during his time in office are escalating, with new revelations pointing to a significant cover-up by those within his inner circle. Allegations suggest that senior aides may have knowingly concealed the extent of President Biden's cognitive decline, potentially making key decisions on his behalf, including the use of the presidential auto pen to approve major policies without his direct input. Former President Donald Trump weighed in, asserting that Joe Biden was not advocating for open borders, but rather, that those around him exploited his condition to push their own agendas. Trump described the situation as treason at the highest level, claiming that unelected aides effectively commandeered the presidency and endangered national security. This comes as journalists and commentators revisit years of media denial regarding Biden's cognitive issues. Despite clear signs, such as public gaffes, confusion, and memory lapses, many mainstream outlets insisted at the time that he was functioning at his best. Now, as reports and books emerge from within the Democratic Party and White House insiders, it is becoming harder to deny that significant decisions may have been made by staffers rather than by the president himself. One source described the administration as being run like a board of directors, raising the constitutional question: if Biden was merely a passive member, who was truly in charge? White House correspondent Peter Doocy reports that these developments are not only about transparency anymore, they point to manipulation at the highest levels, with insiders allegedly exploiting an ailing president for political convenience. Medical records show that President Biden's last known PSA test was in 2014, before he assumed the presidency. Although PSA screenings are often skipped after the age of 70, the absence of updated records has raised further questions about the thoroughness of his recent medical evaluations, especially given new reports about his health. Despite these revelations, the official stance from Biden's team is that he was an effective leader throughout his presidency. However, independent voices across the political spectrum are calling for a bipartisan investigation into what really happened during those 4 years. Former Senator Cory Gardner raised a critical point. Under President Trump, many called for the 25th Amendment based on perceived instability. Shouldn't the same scrutiny apply here, especially if it turns out that Biden's role was largely symbolic and major decisions were being made without his full awareness or participation? A recent New York Times opinion piece put it plainly: Biden was not the only issue. The Democratic Party, White House staff, and campaign officials may have knowingly concealed his limitations. The American people deserve to know who was truly leading the country, and why this information was kept from them. There is now growing bipartisan agreement that a full, transparent investigation is necessary, not just for accountability, but to preserve the integrity of the presidency itself. As this story develops, we'll continue to bring you the facts and updates that matter most. If you find this kind of independent reporting valuable, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an important update. Your support helps keep the truth in focus. Let's take a moment to consider what this means going forward. If the reports are accurate, we may be looking at a period in recent American history where unelected officials wielded extraordinary influence, effectively bypassing constitutional norms. It raises difficult but necessary questions. Was the public misled? Were policy decisions made in good faith? And, perhaps most importantly, how do we prevent this from happening again? Calls for transparency are growing louder not only from Republicans but also from Democrats who believe the truth must come out, no matter the political consequences. In a time when public trust in government is fragile, accountability is not a partisan issue, it is a democratic imperative. Stay with us as we continue to follow this story. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay engaged, and until next time, take care.